We could do it, you know. Take off, live in the woods.
They'd catch us.
Well, maybe not.
We wouldn't make it 5 miles.
I'll tell you what, after this movie, have you noticed in a lot of movies and television shows, girls with bow and arrows? Like, I'm afraid that if I, like, go out in the street, there's gonna be a little girl like, I'm Katniss, and just shoot me right in the freaking leg.
5-Year Engagement already did that joke.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like, there's this scene where she's talking to her flower girl and everything, and there's somehow a crossbow in the kitchen. I don't know how that happened.
What?
But
Who
she's
leaves
like,
a crossbow
you're
in
gonna
the
be such
kitchen?
a cute little flower girl. And then all of a sudden, she pulls the trigger on the crossbow and screams, I'm Katniss! And she shoots her in the leg.
I didn't even see that movie. I
only saw the trailer. Like, I really want to see that movie, but not the point. Hunger Games.
Yes, not the point, everyone. We're talking about the Hunger Games today, or otherwise known as one of my biggest disappointments of the year, but we're going to get into that one.
I know this is very belated and everything. I know this came out in April, but the DVD was just released
And
2 weeks ago.
We're an up-and-coming site, so we're reviewing anything we possibly can. So cut us some slack, don't be an asshole, just deal with it.
Whatever.
But this is going to be interesting because we are both people that read the book. We are both people that really like the book. But for anyone who hasn't read the book, let's give you a little rundown of what the Hunger Games is about if you've been living under a rock or no one's told you. The Hunger Games is about a dystopian future in which the world is separated into
13 districts, one of them got destroyed.
13 districts, one of them got destroyed. That's why I was confused about it. I didn't know if I should say 13 or 12. But
I would go with the 13 because the 13th district being destroyed is why they have the Hunger Games.
right. The 13th district becomes destroyed due to an anarchy, and the leader of the world, to make everyone...
The leader, Pan Am.
Yes, Pan Am. To make everyone pay, decides...
Snow.
Huh?
Nothing.
Okay, well, we're gonna ignore that. To make each district pay for what they did, he has them two tributes, a boy and a girl between the ages of 12 and 18.
Basically, they picked 2 names out of a hat.
Yes, 12 and 18. They pick 2 names out of a hat. Boy and a girl are sent to the Hunger Games, which is a pretty much
to the death. Last one standing wins.
Yes, it's
basically anything for the rest of their lives.
It is deathmatch, straight up. So that's essentially what we have with the Hunger Games. And our story follows Katniss Everdeen, who is from District 12 and and
she volunteers whenever Prim,
her little sister,
gets her name picked out of the giant bowl out of probably thousands of names. And just having one slip in there, like, really changes things.
What luck? What luck?
Yeah, like, no, according to the book, like, you have to fill out test rays and everything, and the more test rays you fill out, the higher of a chance you have for being picked in the Hunger Games, which is one point that I'm pretty upset that they didn't go over, because...
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to what all this
Sorry,
movie...
guys, I'm a very nitpicky person. Like, I am one of those people that reads the book in full detail, and if that detail is not in the movie, then I get very upset.
Yeah, I know this damn well, so...
And so does my dad. He gets mad at me.
Exactly, but I guess we have to, because I know you have complaints with this movie based on, like we said, the book facts. But I have a problem with the film technical aspects.
No, I can see why. Like, I don't understand why they would film the entire film in sepia. Like, I know that they want to make the Capitol look more colorful than the rest of the movie, but the Capitol is so minor compared to the arena and everything else. So I think you could change this, like, film lens a little bit.
Sure. Why don't you go first? And first, I feel like we should talk about what we liked about the movie, because I think there are aspects of this movie that are good. I think there has to be a certain amount of credit given to the actors and actresses in this movie.
That was, like, the best acting job I have seen from pretty much all the frontrunners that are in this movie.
There's really only one.
Wes Bentley, I have seen him in numerous films, but to this date, I think he did one of the best portrayals. Book.
You haven't seen American Beauty yet, have you?
I've seen parts of it.
Okay, well, it's not as good as his performance in American Beauty, but it is a damn good performance. You're right on that. He does a great job with his character. Everyone really does. Jennifer Lawrence.
He stood out the most to me because, like, he isn't as well known as everybody else. Like, the only reason why I know him so well is because one of my best friends is obsessed with him. But, yeah, like, I've seen him in other, like, movies that are pretty much, like, indie films and everything like that, but he even pulls off those roles really well as well.
Okay. Well,
but, yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence, who I think does an amazing job, once again, but she has yet to be in a bad movie to me. Well, what?
I agree with that. Not only, like, is she a fantastic actor, but, my God, she is one of the most beautiful people ever. Like, that's all I gotta say.
She really, like, any movie that she's in, I can at least, even if it's bad, like, I know she's at least gonna turn in a good performance.
Mm-hmm.
I can have that, thankfully, in my heart, and this is no different. She does a great job. Josh Hutcherson.
Josh Hutcherson is amazing. I want to marry that kid.
Surprisingly, did not do a bad job.
No, like, I'll admit, PETA in the book, he is not exactly the most brave soul, and Josh played that extremely well. Like, he showed that PETA is not exactly the strongest competitor, but PETA's talents actually help him win, help him pull through, and he did a very good job portraying that.
Correct. Woody Harrelson, who's one of my favorite actors, did a incredible job with his character.
The sad part is that is the exact way that I pictured Haymitch before seeing this movie or any trailer. Like, that is, like, I didn't picture Woody Harrelson playing him.
Oh, no, I did.
I pictured him looking exactly like the way he did in the movie.
Oh, no. I did, because Woody Harrelson is that guy that you get if you need a drunken asshole, but can be a magical, mystical person that helps you through your problems.
Yeah.
So,
very sarcastic. He did that very fantastically.
Oh, he plays that role so much, but he's so perfect at it. So, I did like seeing him a lot. I was very surprised at how well Lenny Kravitz was for his first acting role.
Yes. The only other movie that I've seen Lenny Kravitz in was Zoolander, and he was presenting an award to Ben Stiller, and that was probably it. But, Lenny Kravitz's Cinna, I was not expecting, like, that fantastic of an acting job from Lenny Kravitz, because, like, he doesn't strike me as an actor.
Right.
But he looked exactly how they described him in the book.
Right.
And, like, I was just blown away by, like, how exact he was to Cinna. Because I know, like, the movie producers and the directors and the casting directors kind of want to change up some of the characters, some of the minor characters in the movie. But he was exactly too far of Cinna that they portrayed in the book. Which I was really pleased with.
Now, I know I'm going to get the girls hating me for this one, but the worst one of all of them is Liam Hemsworth.
This is where we differ.
I don't think he really did anything.
He really didn't do anything, but if you think about it, Gale didn't do anything in the book either.
No, but, I mean, he was kind of bored.
Even when they said, like, Katniss was in the arena, like, the entire time Katniss was in the arena, he was, like, in the mines or working. Like, he still didn't do that much, so, like, they stayed true to that.
Well, there's one scene that particularly stands out to me where it does show that he does not act the part well. And I think you know what I'm talking about, where...
Is this where he sees Katniss and PETA kissing on the screen, and he's just kind of standing there, like, emotionless? Yeah.
Yes. That, I mean, in the book, they made it seem like he was devastated by that, and the movie just doesn't show that at all. But I guess this is a good segue.
But Gale is good at hiding his feelings.
Right, but I guess this is the good part to segue into. Let's bitch about what's different from the book than the movie, and how it affects what we thought about this.
Why the fuck would you get rid of Madge? Seriously, why the hell do you get rid of Madge?
I'm gonna let you vent.
Oh god, okay. This is going to affect the second book, in my opinion, pretty poorly. Because, like, they don't really have a good leeway into it. For those of you who aren't familiar with the series...
Spoiler alert. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, sorry, I'm spoiling some things, but I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this have already read through the entire series, maybe once or twice, so might as
Hopefully.
well. Madge is one of Katniss's really close friends back in District 12. Her father's the mayor, and her mother is in shock and normally hidden away from the rest of the world. But whenever Katniss is chosen to be in the Hunger Games, Madge is one of the people that goes to visit Katniss right before she leaves, and she gives her the famous Mockingjay pin that is on the cover of all 3 books,
Right.
and the signature accessory that they show in the movie. She said that it was, she didn't say that it was a family heirloom, but it says in the second book, they find out that Madge's aunt, who happened to be her mom's twin sister, possessed the Mockingjay pin, and Madge's aunt was a contestant in the Hunger Games. Unfortunately, she didn't survive, so the Mockingjay pin has been in the arena before. And the movie pretty much crapping on that idea.
There's a lot of
Katniss
ideas
walk
from the
into a
book that this...
shop- Having Katniss walk into a shop, look at a bucket, and go, "Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a Mockingjay pin. Would you like it? Sure." And Katniss just takes it. No, you don't fucking do that. You took a whole meaning of something so important to the book completely out of the movie.
That's right, ladies and...
I don't know what they're going to do for the second movie.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're that site that goes 5 minutes in depth about why a nitpick is a bad thing.
Okay, this is important to me. Shut up.
No,
Seriously, the Mockingjay pin surrounds the entire series.
No,
And
you were...
If Madge is not in there, how are they supposed to explain the actual meaning of it?
You are correct. And now let's go into my biggest problem with the book of the movie.
Sorry for ranting so much.
No, because I'm about to do the same thing. I don't want to spoil anything, though, like you did. I'm just going to say this.
Sorry, I didn't know how to explain it without...
Yeah, there's a
spoilers.
theme. There's a theme and an idea that is incorporated in the end of the book that is completely disregarded in the movie.
Oh, God.
And it is an idea and theme that carries heavily not only into the second film, but just into the theme of the book itself. And it really just... What they did with the end of this movie and what they did with the end of the book, the end of the book, it makes so much more sense. Where you see why that happens, but in the movie, you could tell they didn't want to do it because it would make the audience sad. And I just think that's a cop-out.
Well, not only that, I mean, it's a huge leeway into the second book.
Right.
But the end of the movie made it seem like there wasn't going to be a second movie.
Right. No, you're correct, except for one little scene.
Mm-hmm.
But
It just seems like it's going to cut off.
There's also a lot of technical aspects, technical complaints I did want to bring up with this movie. There is a heavy problem. I mean, you mentioned the whole the dark coloring effect, where neon colors pop out big time, and it's kind of disjarring to the eyes. One of the big things that got me was there was 2 things mainly. One, when I was watching it, the editing in this movie is so choppy and fast and cuts away from important stuff too quickly. And at first I was blaming the editor, saying what the hell is he doing? He's cutting away from all this emotional stuff way too fast. But the more I thought about it, and when you get to the actual scene where the Hunger Games begin, it kind of clicked in my head that was a studio decision to tell him to cut everything fast, because it's the same with the first scene in the battle. They cut too fast so that way you don't see any gore. And
I thought that was a disappointment because I like gore.
Well, you and I both know why they did that. It's so they can make this PG-13.
Yeah, because honestly, if they really wanted to be true to the book, I'm pretty sure that the rating would have had to go up, because the book is way more graphic than the movie.
Yeah, it would have been an R. But you can't do that and make money. But my whole thing, the thing that bothered me is not only with that junky editing, just too fast, it cut away from a lot of the action, and it made a lot of the scenes kind of feel like they were filmed sloppy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Another thing that I thought was a little bit sloppy as well, I guess would be the word that I have to say. I felt like they put way too much emphasis on the games itself, like when they're in the arena, but most of the meaning of the book doesn't happen in the arena. And I just felt like they cut away from, like, the districts themselves way too much.
Right, and I understand what you're saying. There's really only one scene in the movie, we don't want to spoil anything, but there's really only one scene in the movie that does take a look at the games itself. I mean, that does look, my bad. That takes a look at the districts and how the games affect the districts. But if I could just say one other thing. Sure.
My dad, who also happened to be watching the movie with me and Lehu, he had never even heard of the Hunger Games. Well, my dad lives under a rock, so don't hate him. But my dad, respect the man and everything, he has never even heard of the Hunger Games. He didn't know they were a book series. He thought it was just going to be a movie. But he was completely lost. So basically what I suggest is you need to read the book right before you see the movie, because you'll actually understand most of it.
Right.
People who haven't read the book and see the movie instead, you're going to get completely lost.
Right.
Because there's a lot of hidden things that people would only be able to understand if they read the book.
Right. So, I don't know about you, but I don't have anything else to say, but I don't know if you
Josh
do.
Hutcherson is hot. Please marry me.
No, besides that. I'm going
to keep saying it.
I'm just going to recap my points again. Acting is amazing. The games itself are, at times, well done. Very tense, very thought out. But the negatives outweigh the positives in the fact that I just feel this was a movie that the studio had a big hand in. And I just feel like it's a greatly missed potential with how great this book is and how the studio really put their hand in this and made it kind of kid-friendly version of it, I guess is the best way to put it, unfortunately. It really is a kid-friendly version of a book that really at times is pretty disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
But technical...
It's like I remember reading the book, Katniss describing every single thing that was happening, like...
Right.
Oh, I watched this kid get cut in half with a machete, and I'm like,
exactly.
Okay.
You see kids get cut in half. You hear about kids getting cut in half with machetes. Like, it's a brutally violent book, and I guess we can.
It seemed like Katniss in the book struggled way more to survive than Katniss in the movie,
and that's to cater to the sensible audience. I mean, we both know that. Unfortunately, it's true. So, I ultimately end up giving this a rental. Just because I think it does. I think it's kind of a really, really dumbed down version of a great book, and there's just a lot of problems that I have with it, with narrative structure and the way that they filmed it. That I couldn't get my mind off of.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to one up you. I'm probably gonna give this a matinee because it has top-notch actors in it. And that's what people want to go see. And it does actually tell a great story, but even though they had to dumb it down a lot, it still makes for a fun adventure, which I really appreciated, because like, you kind of felt like you were actually there.
All right. Well, just because I didn't agree with you, don't shoot me with a bow.
Well, I have one, so you better watch out.
No, you don't.
My daddy taught me how to use it.
Oh, crap. Well, I'm going to go hide.
Just like other things.
I'm going to go hide, then.
Well, he also has a 12-gauge, too, that I can learn how to use as well, so
I'm hiding.
Watch out.
I'm going to hide. Night, everybody.
Night.
Four, three, two, one.